just hand it out. Great, thank you.
Let's encourage Beth, please.
Hi everyone, it's glad to be here. Each for Equal. Thank you so much, Women Women Organisation, for inviting me to celebrate with you. So what does it mean then, each for equal? In my book, if you're for something, it's kind of still up for debate. It's under discussion, it's not accepted as read. Nobody says, I'm for hair, it's really good at covering your head. And nobody says, I'm for food, it's good at filling your belly. So the equality of each human being on earth, that is still up for debate. That is still an issue. Each is equal. That's what we're striving for on International Women's Day. But that equality is still a way away. Equality enshrined in law are still being flouted. Equal pay for women, that's not happening across the board at all. If I look at my work life, every time I went for an interview when I was younger, I was asked, and what are your plans for a family? Even though it was defined as sexist to do that. When I had my kids and I wanted to go back to work, people looked at my CV and said, she's been at home changing nappies for 2 years, what's she got to contribute to the workplace? And now, people look at my CV, look at my age, I'm going to be 50 this year, and they go, she's going to be retired in 5 years, not worth the investment. So here we are. Feminists have been debating the true nature of equality. Every time there's a new wave of feminism, there's a new definition. What does it mean beyond having the basic rights of being able to vote and equal pay? Well, what I think it should be is that everybody, whatever gender, is just allowed to be who they are and be valued for that. Humanity, it's like a football team, and every single player has a unique skill set. We have creators, warriors, thinkers, carers, and complex as we all are, many of us embody quite a few of those elements. Added to that, as we go through life, we have many experiences and learn stuff that gives us a unique perspective through which those elements can be manifested. So, each for equal. The current model is that in teams and couples, there are strengths and weaknesses. And the weaknesses are compensated for, and the strengths are added to. And the idea being that everyone's better together than as an individual. And I think this model can be extended to the whole of humanity, because every single one of us has got a unique contribution to make. Everyone can open another person's eyes or another person's heart. Now, interestingly, the Israeli military have got quite a good system of choosing leaders. Each platoon, when they have a mission, they'll choose the leader according to who's got the best skill set and experience for that mission. And they'll be the leader of that mission, even though there might be other people in the platoon who are more senior. What they're doing there is they're valuing skills and experience rather than your place in the hierarchy. Now, as women in relationships today, I think maybe we could use that model from the Israeli army. For each of us to be equal, both the man and the woman have strengths. Some of those strengths will be the same, and some of them will be different. What that boils down to is that sometimes the woman's just going to be better at something than the man. And this is where we start to run into problems. I made the mistake of being a better driver than my husband, who is now my ex-husband. It was all properly worked out, bumps, scrapes, the ability to parallel park, but being a good driver is a traditionally male area of expertise. So he had an issue with that. an issue with the fact that I was better at washing up than he was. Because obviously that's a traditionally female area of expertise. So I think we women, as we try to rise, are being discovered by this concept of male territory and female territory. Men have no problem at all being great at what's traditionally women's stuff, but when we women stray into male territory and outclass them in their backyards, they have a bit of a problem. Now let me be clear, I am not here to bash men.
Bash away.
I love men. But the problem that all of us in this room have, no matter what gender, is that the patriarchy has been poisoning us all for 500 years because it decided that the genders are not going to be equal in value. And men and women suffer the same under the patriarchy. It's toxic for all of us. And we all have a responsibility to shake off those outdated gender roles so that all of humanity can start to move forward. But it is International Women's Day, and I'm all about empowering and inspiring women. So here's what I think we need in order to get past this obstacle of male territory. We need to be bold. Bold, bolder, boldest. I'm so in love with this word right now. In fact, I even run a women's coaching group to help them kick ass in life, and it's called Bold Goals. So bold, I hereby claim that word for the sisterhood. Bold is, it is doing it your way. It is being authentic, no matter what other people say. It is going out into the world and finding your answers, even if it takes time and expense, and your family or society disapproves of what you're doing. Bold is courageous and unapologetic and maverick. And bold is owning your gifts and skills and following your passion, whether it takes you into male territory, female territory, doesn't matter. And best of all, remember that you were born equal. And in the swing park of life, you women are allowed on the swings, the slide, and the roundabouts, even if it means you have to elbow a few boys out of the way in order to enjoy that. You get to go all over the world, exploring and adventuring, enjoying the delights with gusto, and leaving sticky finger marks or scratch marks wherever you go. Most of all, it's feeling that sense of entitlement to be alive that currently is being held by the patriarch. Now, I struggled in the past with embracing bold. And that was because I'm a survivor of childhood abuse and later on domestic abuse. And to be honest, I was left with so much fear and distrust of men and such low self-esteem that I didn't feel equal to anyone. And it was a long, hard road for me back to happiness and confidence. But I don't need to share that story today because it's in the latest edition of Wonderfully Made Woman magazine. So, read all about it, please buy your issue and support the charity. But it was hard work for me. It was very hard for me to embrace it. But now that I have, it fits me like a second skin. And I can stride confidently into anybody's territory doing what I need to do. And if I can claim it and rock it, then every other woman and girl in this room can too. So, let us march boldly, sisters, being great at what we are great at, unashamedly fabulous and shining. And let us offer our men a new model of equality based on ability rather than gender. The thing is that a loving couple is basically just two people who may happen to have different wobbly bits. And to be happy and to be equal, they need to share out the tasks of life in terms of ability and not gender, then each can be proud of the contribution they're making, and both can be happy. So, we women can love as boldly as we can live. And even if we can't influence the relationships we have to the extent that we want, we can raise our sons to appreciate bold women. Amen. And we can be bold and beautiful role models for our daughters and the other women in our lives. So, cause a scene, kick up a stink, raise a loud and proud hullabaloo. Take up space, your God-given space, boldly. Thank you.